been 2 years since the fall of the mothership and the end of the invasion.
Well, you have just killed it in the first 2 seasons, you and David, and I love, I've seen only the first episode of season 3 so far, and I'm already hooked back into it. I'd love to hear, this show has not only grown in scope with each season, but also in terms of quality. I mean, the characters have gotten deeper, the mysteries have gotten bigger. I'd love to hear what was one of maybe the big notes you and Simon, or you and David had from season 2's reception going into the writer's room this season.
Well, I think that there were a couple things from season 2. One is, people wanted to know more about the aliens. And this season we really deliver like the final ultimate alien, the sentient being that's behind all of this, and more of a sense of why they're here and what they want. Certainly audiences were craving that, and I understand. And then the other part was, I'm not even sure that audiences were saying this, but I could see that they liked when some of the characters overlapped and met each other. And that was always part of our intention, which was to build these characters over 1 or 2 seasons so that you get to know them in their disparate different lives and worlds, and they're such different characters from such different parts of the world, and then ultimately to bring them together and force them to come together as a team and see if they can come together as a team. And that's what this season really is about. This season is really about these characters who've been in these parallel storylines and you've come to know and hopefully care about, have to actually converge for the first time. And it's a much more linear, driven, propulsive season because they come together and they're immediately thrust into a mission. And so it's a real mission season of, instead of running away and just trying to survive the aliens, they're actually taking the action to the aliens this season.
I love that. And I mean, I've already loved seeing the way that Travante and Casp get along with one another and the way Anisha and Envar get along together. I'd love to hear what dynamic was the most fun then for you to help get to bring to life this season, since they are all now converging, like you just said.
Yeah, I mean, it's a hard one to answer because like there's scenes and moments and episodes of the different characters coming together that I absolutely just love. Surprising moments, weird collisions. I think for me, maybe one of the more interesting or most interesting connections or collisions between characters is the Mitski character played by Shioli and the Travante character played by Shamir. I think what I like about them together is they're both on the surface incredibly strong. Shioli is incredibly strong-willed and a genius, and Shamir is obviously physically incredibly gifted as a Travante, as a soldier, but they're also really wounded and fragile emotionally. And so for that fragility to meet, but also the strength to meet, these people who look so different just in terms of their size, who are from such different backgrounds, that was really, to me, an interesting thing to explore this season.
I can already immediately, since you say those two together, feel a synergy that would be great to see between them. And so I'm excited to dive back into my screeners. Now, you mentioned we're going to get the big final, alien, but I'm curious to know, do you have, you and David have many more seasons planned for this, or do you feel that this might be the closure for this one? I mean,
obviously it's ultimately up to the audience, but I'd always imagined that this was a 4-season show, and that there are, at the end of this season, there are some things that have some measure of closure, and there are some things that are still open. And I think there's still real ground to cover with these characters. But that's out of my hands, and really up to the audience.
Well, I'm going to keep the word alive about this show so that we can get you to that 4th season and keep you busy. But I know you're also very busy with Star Wars right now. I'm excited to see what you got cooking with that trilogy. Before I let you go, quick little 2-parter. I'd love to hear how your work in the sci-fi genre on this show has maybe influenced your work over there, as well as just maybe an update on how the trilogy's coming along.
Definitely can't give you an update on how that's coming. I'm sorry, I apologize. But it's like, I've lived my life not being able to talk about stuff, and this is one where you're like, there's a, this is as top secret stuff gets. But I will say that one of the things, I've learned so many things from working on Invasion, or honed a lot of things working on Invasion, and I think that the thing that I carry with me from Invasion into anything that I do, Star Wars included, would be finding a balance between big epic science fiction storytelling with really intimate, dramatic character work. And my favorite of the Star Wars movies is Empire Strikes Back. And it's because the balance between the epic and the intimate is so strong in that it's there's such personal stories. The stakes are really personal. And yet obviously there's all kinds of great science fiction. And I think Andor did an extraordinary job of that as well. It was such an emotional, intense, personal show that also had obviously massive stakes to it, and politics and all of that. So yeah, I've learned a lot from Invasion, and hopefully carry with me into everything I do.
Well, I look forward to seeing those lessons get carried on. But again, I can't wait to see the rest of this season and keep the word alive about this show. So Simon, a longtime fan, of course, so honored to get to chat with you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, I so appreciate it.
Maybe humanity's time is over. Maybe it's their turn.